Okay, hi. Hello. I hope I'm audible, that my microphone is on. So please just let me know in the chat if there's a problem. I'd like to welcome everyone who's joining us to this webinar where I will be introducing the project that Rubicon implemented in the last year and a half, I think. Yeah. Um, just before we start, I'd like to apologize for the technical difficulties again, and hopefully now everything will work fine. And due to technical limitations, I'm not going to be able to share the presentation I'm going to be using for this webinar. So I will now in the chat send a link, and I'd ask all of you to please open it so we can go through it together. I will also in the chat before we start send send a link with the attendance list, which we'd like to kindly ask you to fill out for us because we'd like to use it in the project. Okay, so I think we're ready to start. Okay, so if everybody can open their presentations at this point. So the project that I'd like to talk about the results of now is called Digital Literacy and People in Prison. It was implemented within the Erasmus Plus program, and the time of implementation was from the 1st September of 2022 to December 31st, 2023. So it's just running to its end right now. The main project promoters were us, which is Rubicon Syndrome, we're NGO that for 29 years has been helping people to overcome the. Okay, so I just got a message that you can't hear me. Okay, so hopefully it's fine now. Thank you for your patience. Yeah, so we've been working for 29 years to help people overcome their criminal past and providing comprehensive support to clients with criminal histories. The next promoter was Educos Consultation and Information Center. Since the beginning, the Educos Center's activities have been focused mainly on working with specific target groups of ex-prisoners or prisoners, youth at risk, and young offenders, as well as their families. And Educos is based in Slovakia. And the third promoter was the Faculty of Mathematics and Physics of Charles University. And they provided us with expert guarantee for the course content and know-how for the lecturing approach in the teaching of basic digital competencies. Okay. So the project had 5 main objectives. I just moved to the next slide for those reading along. The first objective was to improve digital competences of the people in prisons that are necessary for coping with everyday tasks in the online world, and to increase the prerequisites for successful integration of persons in prison back to society. The next objective was mapping the situation in the field of digital competence development. Persons at the General Directorate of the Prison Service of the Czech Republic and the Prison and Judicial Guard Corps of the Slovak Republic. The next objective was to map the situation and needs of clients in prison and just after release. And the next objective was to create a learning module and ensure its implementation so as not to violate safety rules of the prisons, both in the Czech Republic and in Slovakia. And to test the learning module in 2 Czech prisons and 2 Slovakian prisons. And then the end goal was to open an interdisciplinary discussion on the needs to increase the digital competences of people in and after release. So I'll move on now, and I'll speak a little about the reasoning behind the project's existence, basically. Uh, we know from our long-term work with clients that the lack of digital skills plays an increasingly significant role in the complex cumulative social disadvantage of people leaving prison. Some convicts or ex-offenders with low digital competencies are already entering prison, and being in a closed environment without contact with the rapid development of modern technologies causes them to be stuck in the so-called digital divide or digital abyss. This gap becomes a barrier to mastering the routine tasks for a full life in freedom or at large, and is one of the barriers to successful integration. So now I'll move on to describing the activities of the project. So the introductory activity of the project was the creation of two focus groups. Uh, Both of them in the Rubicon Center, I think, yeah. Based on the suggestions of the participants and while using data from the previous screening, the content and form of the teaching module was designed. Here in the presentation, we have some interesting quotes from the participants in the focus group. Um, the first says, I didn't know what any of the icons meant, so I didn't know where to look for Skype to call my family. Once I figured out what the mouse looked like, I was surprised that it was different on every PC. Another quote, when I download something, I never know where to save it or how to search for it. And the third one, I play games almost all the time, and when I start, I don't notice my surroundings. It's stupid, I know. Okay, what we did before the project even started. The project was preceded by a screening focused on the knowledge and needs for development in digital skills among the clients of the Rubicon Center, carried out together with the Faculty of Mathematics and Physics of Charles University. The screening took place at all branches of the Rubicon Center, which were at the point in Prague, Kladno, the Western Czech district, and Ostrava in the period between August and December of 2021, and was attended by 58 female and male clients. We found out what the target groups uses most often within the topic was mainly email, social networks, job portals, and we also mapped their demand, aka what they were interested in and what they wanted to learn. Now I'd like to speak about the e-learning module that came to existence as part of the project. The teaching module consists of lessons. First lesson's topic is background. Second lesson, it comprises of communication with people and robots combined with the topic of working with text, numbers, and images. In this module, we show the participants the possibilities of digital communication and the involvement of robots, e.g. the chatbot of the Labor Office for communication with clients. We also dealt with online identity and the need of protecting it. Third lesson, security. In this lesson, we introduced how to secure computer devices and protect themselves, the clients, and their wallets from the pitfalls of malfunctioning technology or illegal behavior. We discussed paying online and demonstrated the need for strong passwords. Because of the internet, you can't just start over, was the motto of this lesson. And also a quote from a client in prison when we were talking about digital footprint. Next lesson, the fourth lesson, was about working with information and solving problems. In this lesson, we discussed with the participants what is legal on the internet and how the legislation differs from, for example, the neighboring Germany. because some participants want to go there for work after their release. The presentation of video tutorials, aka how to handle a new phone, was appreciated. One participant commented, I would never have dreamed that YouTube would provide free instruction on how to set up an account and how to put together a wardrobe. Fifth lesson, current topics and repetition. To pique the interest of inmates, a topic on current trends in artificial intelligence was included at the end of the course. It turned out to be an in-demand topic, the knowledge of which is a practical entry into today's world, as we all probably know at this point. Okay, so yeah, something more about the form of the module, because we now focused on mostly the contents. And for now, I'd really recommend you to look at the presentation. We're at slide 9 at this point, because you can then see what the module actually looked like. Okay, so we have, for the design of the module, there were a few very important tenets that we wanted to stick to. First of all, the simplest possible design. Focus group insights were supposed to be taken into account. Ideally, the model was supposed to be without sound, was supposed to stop after short sections and leave space for comments and discussions. Okay. Okay, so in the next part of the presentation, I'd like to focus on our experience from the implementation of the course. First, I will focus on Rubicon's experience, and then we will move on to the Slovak experience from our partners at Edukos. Okay, so our experience from the implementation of the course. The classes took place in the women's prison Nové Sedlo Drahonice from the 13th to the 27th July 2023. And altogether 3 classes, one consisting of 45 minutes of learning twice a week. The group consisted of 10 female inmates with mostly short-term prison sentences, which means about 1 to 2 years. In the course, we decided to combine lecturer-led training in a seminar form with direct work on computer equipment, into which we had pre-installed animations and pre-prepared activities. Most of the participants in the group were used to using the computer equipment on a daily basis. At the beginning of the course, there was no specific order from the participants. No, they didn't express any specific wishes for what they would like to talk about, but they were interested in the topic and asked questions during the lessons. They were active. One lesson was adapted to the topic of parenting on the basis of questions. For example, working with programs and applications used to communicate with the school, such as the Baccalaureate program or the use of ChatGPT in education, which is a very contemporary topic of conversation now everywhere. Okay, now we'll move on to the second course that took place. That was in the men's prison Rinovice. Started on the 11th of September and it ended on the 1st of October 2023, again with 3 lessons and twice a week. Here again, the group consisted of 10 participants, this time men, and they were in the prison with a long sentence mostly. Virtually all participants had been using computer equipment independently for a long time, some of them using Skype communication within their prison sentence. Some of the participants were nervous and uncomfortable working on the device. It was very new to some of them, which might be because of the long sentences they were serving. The men asked for an introduction to a few topics they were most interested in, e.g., applications for the masonry profession, repairmen, or job search sites. They were interested in how e-banking worked and how to pair devices, aka phone and wireless headsets. Uh, I'd like to tell you a bit about the feedback we got from the prisons we were working with. We received positive feedback from the participants of the first course. They appreciated the information about artificial intelligence and its use, as well as the chapter on security, choosing a strong password and virus protection. We received feedback from a prison staff member that we need to make the teaching more interactive. There was also a recommendation to tailor the course more to the level of participants, to have different activities for participants with basic and more advanced knowledge. The men's prison also rated the course as beneficial. The most popular topic among the participants there was safety. Several participants mentioned the lack of internet connection and the inability to try some things directly. A prison service worker rated the course as beneficial and liked the content of the course and the involvement of the participants in the activities during the course. He rated the opportunity to touch the digital equipment and try out its functions as the most beneficial. A pleasant surprise for him was the participants considered to keep their attention throughout the three teaching hours. The use of a tutorial module combined with presentations and discussions with the participants has proved useful in teaching. It proved that the activities had to be prepared in a modular way to match the different knowledge of the participants. Due to the inaccessibility of the internet in the prisons, it is not possible to improvise during the learning process and directly show the participants a topic of interest to them. And teaching the internet without the internet often loses authenticity. Uh, Participants very much appreciated the opportunity to touch and try out the computer equipment. Here, there were big differences between participants and their skill levels and their experience. Participants realized that everyone will use computer applications to some extent and that their knowledge of lack or lack of knowledge may affect others, such as their children. We are sure that all participants left the course with the understanding that the online world needs to be taken seriously, as it forms our everyday reality, regardless of where one lives and works, or where one will be returning to from the prison sentence. So, to sum it up, the topic of basic knowledge of applications and online environments for the daily life of people in the prison system has been shown to be necessary, which was expressed by both female clients and female prison staff. However, it is not currently within the Rubicon Center's power to create such a robust module that could be used across the board in prisons. Nevertheless, we want to continue the topic at least within the framework of the DigiMost project for female clients at large. DigiMost is a project that will continue, and it translates as basically Digi bridge, digital bridge, to help clients navigate the digital divide. We would be happy to be a partner of the prison service of the Czech Republic if it would like to implement its project within this topic, their own project. Okay. So, some more activities on the topic of digital competences. Rubicon Centrum is currently implementing a follow-up project for people released from prison. The project, as I mentioned, is called DigiMost, Digital Bridge. The bridge protects against falling into the digital abyss. As part of the project, we opened the DigiPoint once a week on Wednesday from 4 to 5 p.m. In the Rubicon Centrum office in Prague, clients have the opportunity to use the computer room. It's basically based on the idea of an internet cafe where computer devices, laptops, and tablets are available on which they can deal with emails, communication with family, they can look for work, etc. And at the same time, improve their digital literacy. As part of the DigiPoint, there will be a mentor with lived experience from the prison system. They'll always be present and ready to provide support and explain everything needed. The mentors have been through a course inspired by the project being implemented. If you have clients who need help navigating the digital world, please contact Michael Yetmar. I think I will write down my colleague's email address into the chat anyway, because he is the leader of this project. And if you should have any questions, even after this webinar, I would like to direct you to him. Just give me a moment as I type this, please. Good. Okay. Next, I would like to share with you the experience of our Slovakian partners, Educos Center, from how they implemented the course we created. Okay. So the first run of the course in Slovakia took place in the prison Nitra Hrenova. The course was attended by 10 convicted women from the exit section. During the course, the staff of the so-called threesome, consisting of a psychologist, a social worker, and a social probation officer, actively cooperated with the lecturer, creating active support for the course participants, while at the same time preparing themselves for the possibility of being lecturers themselves in the future. In contrast to the Rubicon Center, the course in Slovakia was divided into 3 days only, 2 of which were taught by the Educos staff. The last day of the course was focused only on the revision lesson and was taught by the aforementioned social worker and social curator or social probation officer. The women convicts perceived the course as interesting, stimulating, and beneficial. They also positively evaluated the involvement of the mentioned threesome. The second run of the course took place in the men's prison in Banská Bystrica. 13 male prisoners from the exit section participated from the pre-release section. All of them completed the course in full. Again, a threesome consisting of a psychologist, a social worker, and a social probation officer participated. The challenge for the lecturer was the different level of digital competences of the participants, because they ranged from complete beginners who, for example, did not even know how to use a mouse to IT professionals. Therefore, the trainer always combined a beginner and an advanced participant for each computer device. The course was conducted in 2 days, as in the men's prison with Educos lecture, and on the third day, a refresher revision session, where a social worker and a probation officer were present. Educos also did a third run of the course, which took place in a men's prison in Žilina. 7 male prisoners there from the pre-release section participated. All of them completed the course in full. Again, a threesome consisting of a psychologist, a social worker, and a social probation officer participated. 6 participants found the course or the topic a little or more challenging. Participants rated the information on working with Word and Excel, the lesson on communication, and the presenter's performance as the best. In the feedback, participants rated the topic of artificial intelligence, data protection, working with Word and Excel as the most important. Okay, digital competences in prisons in Slovakia. As in the Czech Republic, the use of digital tools in the prison system was widespread during the COVID-19 pandemic. The prison and judicial guard corps, hereinafter referred to as the, sorry, that's from the translation. I will keep referring to it as the prison and judicial guard corps. Like the Czech Republic, started to use more communication applications such as Skype, WebEx, not only internally, but also for the contact of prisoners with the outside world, uh, either their family members, public administration, and other institutions, NGOs, etc. In Slovakia, as in the Czech Republic, the education of people in prison is divided into formal, aka compulsory school attendance, state and school educational programs, and informal activities included in the treatment program, education based on various projects. In Slovak prisons, 8 to 16 inmates per year undergo retraining courses on digital literacy, while other opportunities to improve their digital competences are offered to inmates on the basis of circular activities in the prison's computer rooms. Okay. Based on their experience and after the implementation of the course, colleagues from Educos came up with a working division of the assessment of the level of digital competences of people in prison into 4 subgroups. The first subgroups were convicts with a sentence of 3+ years, repeat offenders without developed key competences. I'm sorry, I'm still a tiny bit sick. Prisoners with a sentence of 5 years or less who know the digital competences are important and are therefore willing to further educate themselves on the topic. The third group, prisoners with long sentences who have little or no contact with the real needs of life on the outside. Developing digital competences may therefore be a completely new topic for them. And the fourth subgroup were prisoners who, regardless of the length of their sentence, are familiar with the digital environment and have been involved in the topic professionally in the past, e.g., IT workers. In the opinion of our colleagues, the tested training program is primarily suitable for groups 1 to 3. Okay, and to finish up this presentation, we'd like to thank the project partners, namely Teresa Hannemann, who's from the Faculty of Mathematics and Physics with the Charles University in Prague, Miroslav Špánik, Michal Čipka, Martina Špániková. They're from the Consultation and Information Center Educos, Dolní Kubín. Okay, I would now like to thank you for your attention. And you excuse me, I'll just consult with my colleague on what our next actions will be. And I'd like to kindly again ask you to fill out our participant list, attendance list. It's the second link in the chat. Okay, so thank you for your attention and have a lovely day.